I have this one question I wanted to ask you. So on social media, I see a lot of people saying money is not real.
Okay.
So do you have like what does that actually mean?
Yeah. So I think what they are trying to say is that if you look at even the balance sheet of Nepal Rashtra Bank,
Yes.
it has around, if I'm not mistaken, 6 arba worth of, that's like 600 crore or something like that.
Yeah.
6 arba worth of physical currency, if I'm not mistaken, which is only 8 to 10% of the total circulated currency.
Yes.
Okay.
So that would be 60
So I
arba.
think that would be not 6 arba, 60 arba, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
60
okay.
arba of hard currency, and rest, whatever, 90%, 10% would be that hard currency, and 90% would be all the
flowing
digital transactions and
okay.
loaning it. The same loan becomes a deposit in another bank, and again the deposit is loaned out. So through that, out of the total money supply of around 600 arba, which is 6 arba in Nepali. So
in international system, how much would that be?
That would be around maybe $50 billion kind of a thing.
Yeah, I believe you. I believe you. Yeah.
$15 billion.
50
billion. Yeah. 50.
Okay.
$50 billion.
So yeah, you were saying about.
Yeah, so I guess due to that reason, they are saying that money is not real, because 90% of it is not any minted currency. It's basically a computer generated transaction. It's literally an entry in the computer.
Okay.
90% of it is. So basically, they say that debt is money, which is true.
Which is true.
Because suppose out of the 10% of hard currency, suppose you got 6 crore. That's for an example.
Yeah.
6 crore in hard cash. Then you deposit it in the bank. Okay. Then bank can loan out technically 90% of it.
Yes.
Gets loaned out. So out of the 6 that you had, 90% of 6 would be 5.4 crores additional cash has been generated. So look at the money supply. Now there's not only 6 crore worth of money supply, there is 6 plus the 5.4.
Yes.
And that 5.90% of that 5.4, because that person who has taken the loan from bank will also deposit it somewhere, or will buy goods.
Yes, definitely.
So it will go into the banking channel. Okay. So 90% of that will also get loaned out. So basically, there's a multiplier effect. So that's why money is created in thin air, basically.
Don't you think like the cash flow is important in the economy?
It is. It is,
right?
Having said that, in that example, one thing that I have taken ceteris paribus equal is that I have not considered the goods that we purchased from outside. Basically, most of the goods that we purchase are imported.
Yes.
So that means the money will flow outside. So out of that 5.4 that has been loaned out, 2.4 he might buy goods out here. But 3.4, if he buys 3 crore worth of goods from outside, then that 3 crore has now vanished from the system. So that risk is always there.
Leakage.
So sorry?
Will it be called a leakage?
Kind of, you can see a leakage, but it's not any illegal or anything. It's just imported goods, so that will go out. So that's why we need to have productive resources here. We need to produce out. So along with the money supply, if the unit of production does not increase, then it does not make much sense. It'll only give rise to inflation after that.
This reminds me of the conversation we were having a few days ago about China. I mean, you remember the example, right?
Yeah.
Like our friends were telling us, okay, we went under the bridge and then there was a light.
Yeah.
There was a polar bear screen and everything.
All those things there.
And I was just thinking, like, is it ever possible for Nepal to reach there? And I think it is possible, but I am not aware of the steps that the government is taking right now. Do you know anything about that, though?
My analysis, and most of the people will say the same thing, they are not going the correct way because we don't have clarity in policy.
Okay.
So we say